Imagine Detroit 1982, where some weird things are going on, but only a few people are seeing it. That's the players.
Don't
Is
imagine it if you've been there. Tell us all about it.
Is it an ancient horror? The inane, the unknown, a twisted fate. Something within each of these characters drives them forward towards the truth, even if it means the worst. Join us as we discover the truth of the Red Writ. Okay. Media production is by Couchfire Media. Music is by all lowercase letters and Mr. Interrupt. Special thanks to the Patreon members, Tim Roberts and Daniel Holker. If you want to become a patron on the Patreon, there are links. Hit up the link tree or the official website, DreadLore. That's LORE.com. We go live on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern. The podcast airs in 2 parts on Wednesday and then Thursday, because it makes more sense. And then on Friday, we do the DreadLore After Hours, which is what we will do later tonight, right around 11 o'clock or so. Okay, call to action. That's right. If you haven't, please like, please subscribe. Give us your social security numbers. Who's our sponsor for today?
We are sponsored by a series of small metal screws that is normally put into a computer case when you are assembling it or taken out when you are disassembling it. These screws are prone to fall into cracks. They are prone to get lost in other crevices in your home, so don't be surprised when you're using your vacuum cleaner that you hear a very loud, sharp, but not too loud rattling sound as one of these metal screws from years ago gets sucked up into a vacuum cleaner that you are using, hopefully to make your home cleaner.
Why have I not made a little short of just a montage of our sponsors? Yeah, that's our sponsor for tonight. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves as players, what you know about gaming and all the goodness, and your characters. Please go ahead. We'll start with Drizzle.
I'm Drizzle. This is the only serious campaign that I've been in, but I've been gaming for 3 years, and this big, long campaign, but some smaller ones. I play Simon Vincent. He's a hard-boiled detective. He's a no-nonsense kind of guy. Used to be a detective with the police force until something bad happened to his partner, and then he took early retirement as soon as he could, and now's a PI because it's a lot simpler life.
Hard-boiled mean.
It's from the 50s. It's pulp. I don't know
I use
where
it
it came
too,
from.
but I actually don't know.
I don't know.
Not runny.
Yeah, that's something we'll have to Google for next week.
Well, if anything, Nord is my name is Ken, and I've been playing DreadLore since, I don't know, maybe a year, maybe not that long, on and off, and little one shots. And before then, I was not playing role playing games, and I really liked this one. I read the book, and I was like, hey, I want to do this. Anyway, I'm playing this character, Nord Zetterberg, who is a very honest liar, just like most people. He's a photojournalist and a journalist and a writer, and he loves crochet like you wouldn't believe it. But when he's alone in his van, he does just the finest little needlework, and good for him.
We'll go Holker.
My name's Daniel, and I've been playing DreadLore since 1976. It's been a long time. Okay, it's. I'm kidding. I don't know how long has DreadLore been around?
I think it was 800 years.
All right.
About yeah.
Yeah. Details are in the book, which you should buy. Anyways, yeah, my name's Daniel. My character is Toni Czerniak. He was an aspiring priest until he wasn't, and now he is a border guard for the Detroit Bridge, and he believes that something's out there. He believes that his maybe all those years spent in seminary wasn't entirely in vain. He just doesn't know yet. But for now, he's annoying Canadians, and yeah, we'll see what happens
At the border.
Yeah, at the border.
At Das Border. Andrea.
Yes, I am Andrea Elliott Johnson. As a gamer, this is really like, this and the Richmond Fay game are the only real, RPGs. I get tabletop RPGs I've played. Played lots of video games, all my life, and I tend to lean towards RPG style games anyway. And my character is Leah Mizrahi. She is a former IDF soldier who moved to the United States after things started getting a little bit, unstable where she was living in Israel. And now things have become unstable again, which is, great. I'm sure that won't cause any problems with her mental health. What could go wrong?
No, you're good. You're definitely good.
Yeah.
Awesome. I don't know what's going on with these ad breaks. They're like all over the place. It'd be like snooze. It starts in 2 minutes. Just kidding, 5.
It says
Yeah.
two.
Ridiculous.
It says
What's up, Kentucky Fried?
2 minutes and 16 seconds.
Kentucky Fried, did you subscribe again? You are the man. You are the people and the man at the same time. Because I think you're like an entire group as well. Thank you guys.
What is that?
Fuck yeah. Kentucky Fried says, hey y'all.
I would like to eat some of the fried at the fancy. I bet they have really good fried.
I got some chicken earlier. I'm gonna cook that bitch. All right, so I guess we can do the recap. I'm just gonna read the summary. This lovely summary that I wrote. Indeed. How much we got? A minute and a half? We can do it. Last we met our group of intrepid investigators. Just trepid. It's just trepid.
Yeah.
It's less than anyway. Leah, Nord, Simon, Toni, and Mariah find themselves trapped on the mysterious Bell Island by an intense deluge. I had to look that up. Thankfully, the overly dense forest and canopy provide some much needed relief from the sudden and raging storm. You know, that overly dense forest that I kept on describing ad nauseum. With his senses heightened by natural medicines, Nord discovers a hut crafted of vines and tree limbs behind a rune-covered obelisk. Toni and Nord investigate it to find a smelly living space with a small altar and several suspicious items. Nord uses his knowledge of forensics and DIY to gather clues. I'm going to go longer on that. With the rain not letting up, the group follows Nord deeper into the untamed forest. It's a rough and muddy trek until they discover stonework stairs leading down to a man-made lake, which Nord identifies as Lake Overflow. Simon finds a discarded pack of Noblesse cigarettes at a secluded outcropping which overlooks the lake. He made some conclusions. We won't talk about them yet. Toni overturns a large stone. Why? Just cuss. Only to find a 1920s Derringer loaded with a single rune-covered bullet. Nord speaks the runes aloud because he's not played enough Dungeons and Dragons, and everyone but Leah see it begin to glow. Seeing the glow proves precarious as Mariah immediately falls asleep. Toni uncontrollably walks into the lake, disturbing it. Nord cannot get the words he spoke out of his mind, and even Simon is struck momentarily dumb. Concerned for the well-being, Leah helps her daughter wake up from a hearty IDF slap. Wake up her daughter with a hearty IDF slap across the face. The group turns to leave when mysterious bubbles erupt from the central part of the lake and begin moving ominously towards them. With Leah in the lead and Simon in the back, the group races up a second stone stairway and find themselves back on the beach with the Chambly Bridge and their boat tossing in the waves. With the storm raging all around them, the far shore is totally obscured. They don't care. Nord convinces the group to leave the island, but Simon insists they sit tight in their boat. Why? Because he's hard-boiled. We already covered this.
Yeah.
A lone light alights from the abandoned lighthouse, which no one gives a fuck about. And with a momentary calm in the storm, Simon guns it to the other side. The group, sans Nord, head to Annabelle's house in Grosse Pointe to have her accompany them to Barker's Books and Oddities, where they feel the case to find Gabriella is leading them. That is one sentence, y'all. Goddamn. They see a strange truck outside, but give it no notice. Annabelle's memory seems foggy, and while they're all talking, Miss Loretta Levon appears from a back room. She's diplomatically rude and asks them to leave the premise. Simon convinces Annabelle to follow along. The last bit. The group reconvenes at Nord's van parked at the Shell gas station around the corner from Annabelle's neighborhood. Simon knocks on the door and startles Nord half to death as he is developing some disconcerting photographs he's taken along their journey. And that's where we start. You guys have any questions before we get into the that's kind of the montage right there. DreadLore always starts with a montage. That's kind of the montage.
Hey,
Before we get into the dread,
are we allowed to? Are we allowed to cuss?
Fuck no.
Does it matter?
yeah, I say we have said
Okay.
fuck so many times.
Fair enough.
There's like-
fair enough.
There's like 3 or 4 words we're not allowed to say on Twitch, which
What
they're
are those
so
words again?
yeah, Nord. These words are so strange. Like none of us use these words in normal parlance, so I'm not really worried about it. If you have a question about it, just don't use it. Just
Fair.
it's
No, the
words
reason
that
I was asking is
Mm.
the reason I was asking because when you said diplomatically aggressive, and I was like, wait, like my brain said, oh, you mean passive aggressive, bitch.
yeah, she's pretty bad. She was pretty bad. I was trying to think of a good way to say it and yet be concise, and I did not find it. All right, so
Maliciously polite.
what was it?
Maliciously polite.
Maliciously.
That's a good one. Where's that? What the fuck is this? It's in my pocket. All right. So, before we get into the dread, and so you guys can actually bid and such, you have any questions? You want to decide what you're doing and all that goodness? I'm going to give you 5 seconds because dead air is stupid.
I mean, we're headed to Barker's Books. I just knocked
I
on.
thought you, I thought you were knocking on at Nord's van.
Yeah,
I know, well, that's what
I'm just talking player talk is what I'm saying.
Yep.
I was
So I'm
probably
like-
Nord is definitely in his little world doing crochet and photos and all that fun stuff that he does in his van. Really digging in deep, scratching that artistic itch, making sure that everything is developed. Probably acquired a pretty solid contact high from photo chemicals. Very
Mhm.
caustic, his smell.
And what about the other two? I mean, you guys don't have to talk.
Toni,
you have to
Toni
talk.
is,
Yeah.
Toni is contemplating Nord's life choices.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what?
Leah is talking to Annabelle and basically saying, "So what was that?"
No,
that's...
no, not yet.
Oh,
We're going to the
okay,
dread in just a
fine.
second. This is all prep.
Okay.
Prep for when we actually do get into it.
Then yeah, I'm just talking to Annabelle.
Okay. So you're all
I
just
did-
on the same page. We've done the recap. Now you're all on the same page.
I did have one question.
Yeah, hit it.
So what is the difference? Is a relic is like a plus, like a D12? Is that correct? We're not at the place where we should have relics at this moment.
Right. So the difference between an artifact, a relic, and just a piece of ninja gear or equipment. Does anyone know the answer to this question? Good. Then I'll get to talk more. All right. So ninja gear is just anything that you claim as your own. Okay. Um, it can get a little bit crazy. Like you can be like a stone on the ground, ninja gear. Technically, you can do that and be like, I'm going to use this and bid it and get that extra die. But typically, ninja gear is stuff that you've written on your sheet that you're carrying around with you. There are no bags of holding in this setting, so you want to be conscious of that. Andrea. Not calling you out or anything. I'm calling out Sarah. Anyway,
I'm telling you, that was all practical. Okay.
I know.
It's
I'm
all
sure it was. I'm sure it was. I want a cosplay of Sarah Reth.
I will do it.
I'm working on an ambassador program for DreadLore, by the way. Where like I won't go into it right now, but the long and the short of it is you go to cons, you dress up, you have a little link, and you get a percentage of what you sell. Anyway, but it'd be really cool if you did that. So that's ninja gear.
Cool.
It's just normal items. Now, when you bid ninja gear to gain extra dice, so that's something you do on your turn. When you do it, you get a D4. That's the extra die you get. And the way you know what die type it is by how many traits that ninja gear has attached to it. So if the ninja gear has a flaw or two, which count as traits, or traits that are just already on it, then each one of those increases the die type. It boosts the die type by 1. So it starts the D4 if you have a flaw on something and a trait. So it'd be D6, D8. So you bid that piece of ninja gear, it gives you a D8 instead of something else. Okay, so this is just ninja gear in general, and that's how you advance it. That's called folding the story. When you can advance, you can just be like, I'm going to add a trait to a piece of ninja gear I have. Boom, and what you do is that increases the die type when you bid it, but also it gives you another trait to be able to bid, right? For example, if I've got a piece of ninja gear like this apple, if it had 2 traits on it, I can bid the apple. That's a trait. I can bid one of the traits. Boom. I can bid the other trait. So that gives me 3 times I can bid this during a scene, right? Now, of course, you're limited on your turn by your tier of play and all that crap. But the idea is it's really good to have lots of traits on Ninja Gear. It gives you more uses, essentially, of it. Okay. You get to a relic once you get past a D12. So the idea is, I'm going to use the apple again. All right. So this is a stupid prop, but I'm using it. So once this apple gets up to a D12, what happens when you advance again, fold the story, and add something to it? Well, nothing, except it becomes a relic now. Anyone who picks up the apple can use all of those traits. Normally, if it's not a relic, only the person who owns this, basically you're attuned to it, you get the traits. So if you hand this off to Simon, it's just an apple, right? Once it's a relic, anyone can use it. That would be the idea of like Excalibur is a relic. The Green Destiny sword is a relic. Anybody who picks it up is better. So that's the difference. It's perfectly fine to have one at this point in the game. An artifact is the catch-all for it's essentially a magic thing. In this setting, it's not really magic. It would be more you don't know. But an artifact is a completely, think of the Tesseract in Marvel. That's an artifact. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just good.
Yep. Now, one thing I will say about relics, flaws don't count towards it. So it's got to have the traits on it.
And how do you get a flaw on your device?
Typically, you don't. It usually comes with it.
Yeah.
That would be a specific situation.
Okay.
Like, you've got your sword, you use it to, uh, kill Batman or something with it. It breaks, it has a flaw, or
Yeah.
it like, you get what I'm saying. Yeah. It would be
Obviously,
more
it has
along
a
those lines.
flaw. There's so many sequels.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna tell a story, you got to do it all in one movie. Any more than one movie, I mean, what's the point?
I'm watching The Batman. I like it. I think it's good. It's also 3 hours long.
Yeah.
Okay, we're actually gonna start playing. Unless there's an ad break in a minute.
No, it's on an ad break right now.
Oh, it's on it. Oh, good. Well, we'll have this ad break for a minute and a half, and then we'll actually start the dread. Yeah. So one of the reasons that these rules are so fluid is because you can apply them to a lot of different settings. If you're playing like a sword and sorcery, high fantasy setting, artifacts and relics and stuff make a little bit more magical sense. If you're thinking about a horror Cthulhu game like we're playing, well, that kind of depends on the mystery, right? A relic is maybe it could be your magnifying glass, or for example, Nord's camera. It could be technically a relic. It's just this amazing camera that's been everywhere he has and done great things or been used to do great things. That's why it's considered a relic. It's not an artifact though. Now, let's say, Cthulhu used it. Maybe it'd be an artifact. Does any of that make sense?
Gotcha.
Does any
Yeah.
of that make sense? Okay.
It
Cool.
makes sinks all over the place.
Makes sinks?
Lots of sinks.
If Cthulhu threw it at you hard enough, it'd be another character sheet.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, when Cthulhu I believe in Call of Cthulhu, when Cthulhu appears, you roll a d4 plus 1, and that's how many players die. Like,
Ooh.
no roll, you just Cthulhu
Point it.
eats that many players.
How big is Cthulhu?
Gargantuan or colossal.
I rolled a 4, so I guess we're all done.
Yeah, you'd be done.
I think we're back in 2 seconds.
Yep.
Okay, now that the ad break has ended and everybody has, ordered pizza or whatever it was, we'll actually play. Will you hit the little marker thing? Thanks. Bang, 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 bang. Simon knocks on the door. Nord, you've locked it, not knowing who it is. You hear, Nord, the voices of Mariah and Leah talking back and forth as you realize this is your party outside.
I guess I'll open the door.
Nord, open up.
Hey, guys.
Nord, what do you
You've
look like
really-
now that you're doing this?
I would say that he's probably not wearing a shirt. And he's got a lot of hair. He's a hairy guy. He's got hair on his shoulders, and he's proud of his ancestry. His he is probably got some stains of various oils, and maybe a couple of little tattoos here and there on his chest. Maybe a few hieroglyphics of sorts. Not the same kind of hieroglyphics that you see and that we see in the Red Writ, but certainly, he is not necessarily a person that you want to talk to, but he's a little disturbing looking. He is definitely gaunt, and he's friendly.
Nord, you've really got to get some ventilation on this van.
Yeah, it's something. Toni, do you drive? What are we doing? Do you drive, Toni?
Yeah, I can drive.
You should probably drive my van.
Oh, sure, I'll drive your van. That's no problem.
I'd roll down the windows first. Toni.
Are we going to this bookstore?
Yeah, if you want, you can follow us. We've got Annabelle with us.
Oh, that's my
Nord,
bad.
can you not take the clear head for like less than 5 minutes?
No.
Yeah, that's my bad. Leah is talking to Annabelle. Yeah, Annabelle is there. What are you saying to her? She's wearing the look on her face of, why are we at a creepy van at a Shell gas station?
Hey, so Annabelle, what was that lady's problem?
That's just how she is. She's
Well,
just that way.
she was a real
Does,
bitch.
does she live at your house?
No, she comes over though. She's got a key too. Simon, as you
So
call
realistically, she didn't actually have any authority to kick us out.
Annabelle, kind of shrugs. Uh,
Well, either
Simon,
way, I apologize for that.
Simon, you notice that when you call Miss Levon a bitch, Annabelle and Mariah actually kind of grin. Mariah will actually giggle a little bit. Um, yeah, she shrugs. Annabelle does. I don't know. I mean, it's not my house, not really.
Well,
So
if
what? Are we going to this place or what?
yep,
Yes,
let's
here.
hop in.
I'm gonna ride with you. And she turns and looks at the Buick.
I know it's a lot safer to ride with me. Trust me.
What are there like needles in there and stuff? You, Nord, you might hear her say, she mumbles as Mariah and Annabelle start walking with Simon, leaving the rest of you like, you know, you're not there. And-
Leah goes to go also in the Buick.
Okay, excellent on you guys.
Well, I guess you drive. I'm gonna keep working on this stuff back here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's,
got this.
describe that back there. What does it look like?
It's full of stuff. It's got a lot of stuff in it. Like more stuff now that we went to Plato's closet. Like Nord, can I spend a pip
Yeah, for what?
uh to say that Nord cleaned out a good portion of Plato's closet and there's now a pile of random clothing
Yeah,
just full in the back. He used his kettle ability to get
yeah,
away with
that's fun. Oh, you cleaned them
and
out. You stole it. Okay.
he
Yeah, yeah.
did not pay for it.
When you get into the car, Tony, you smell new clothes smell, or like whatever detergent that is, for pawn shop clothes, and you know that there's like price tags on all the stuff, and those little like I guess I don't know if they had the little blue powder things in the early '80s or not. Anyway, it looks like a bunch of
Yeah,
stolen clothes.
look,
it's
Lord, I've let other stuff go. I'm not gonna lie. In my professional capacity, I've let way worse go. I will
that's good.
also, just so you know, I'm also not going to be stopping at the Grateful Dead concert.
Yeah,
These aren't
truth.
Grateful Dead
The nature of
clothing.
these clothes, they're pawn shop clothes from the early '80s. Yeah,
So
they
they're all
are.
70s. They're all like they got the big
Like big
collar
necks. Yeah.
with and those like just stellar like Nord is gonna be like sporting like some leisure suits and some like some bell bottoms. He's going real real back to the disco era.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Grateful Dead would be like lots of tie-dye.
Yeah, it would be
I'm
certainly.
talking about the van that I'm looking at, that I'm in,
Yeah,
that I'm about to drive.
Yeah,
truth.
well, we'll get a paint job. I mean, we can paint it. I mean,
Man, I would have gone to a
you
Grateful Dead concert back in the day. Been awesome.
sure it would have
All
been
right.
epic.
As we montage to Barker's books and oddities, I think is what it's called. Nord, would you be able to post the map up there for people to see? And Simon, would you mind posting in the Twitch the map so people can see it in the event that they want to like look at it
Where are we
themselves?
going?
I'm assuming you're
Oh,
going to
it's right there in
Barker's Books
the
and Oddities.
middle.
Yep.
I see it.
So you're at Annabelle's address essentially, and
Yeah.
do you just take the most direct route, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not driving, so
Yes, I will take the most
I follow Simon.
direct route to route there. If I don't know the exact way, I'll be asking Annabelle for some help. Also, I'll give Annabelle some advice about
go ahead and do it.
So, Annabelle, if she's not your guardian, you don't always have to listen to her. You can get away with a lot more stuff because she's not a guardian. And unless your father or your mother get after you for it, then you have to worry about it. But you don't have to listen to her.
Life Advice by Simon Vincent. It's like a little rainbow, like a star.
Yeah. All you have to do is ask BB back there. She knows what.
You hear
what's going
Mariah perk up, or you don't hear her. She you see her perk up, maybe next to you, Leah, and she goes, "Fuck yeah!"
on.
And then quickly looks at you with,
Yeah,
"Oh
Leah,
no, eyes."
and when she says that, Leah will give her like a light backhand on the shoulder.
So we're in the montage, so let's just start soft role play. You don't have to bid. This is a time for you guys to, if you want to talk amongst yourselves or to the NPCs, go for it. Again, there's no bidding right now. If you don't, it's fine. We'll essentially arrive at the destination. You can also, during a montage, advance if you have an advancement.
Along the way, I ask Nord, what are you making back there? Are you still making photos?
I'm trying to. No, well, I mean, I'm pouring these chemicals. I found these lenses, these filters, like these little. You put them on top of a lens. And then you put it up. And I'm pouring these different like chemicals that I kind of found in the van. Maybe if I pour the right ones on it, it'll let me take a better photo of some of this spectral stuff that's happening. Like an infrared, or like a ghost of red, or
I think whatever's there is either going to be invisible to us all, like that thing that told me to go into a lake, or we're just going to be able to see it.
I mean, but sometimes it doesn't expose quite the way I see it. I mean, I get it. You're gonna pull that whole, altered state of mind thing, but if you've been in this van for more than 15 minutes, you're there, man.
I believe you.
Yeah, in fact,
Because I'm here.
In fact, Toni, it's like being in a bathroom that's just been cleaned with Clorox. Like, it's rather stifling, and after maybe 10 minutes.
I wrote on the window.
Okay, I was gonna say after about 10 minutes, you don't notice anymore.
What did you guys talk about? Did I miss much? I'll have Toni tell me a little bit about what happened at Annabelle's house and fill me in.
Yeah, what are you telling?
Well, we went in there and, it's like we were a bunch of strangers walking into someone else's house and they saw us. Right?
Yeah, I felt that coming. a little bit.
Yeah, and someone gave us. Seemed like they gave us the riot act.
Yeah, after they, tried to. After Karen came up to us last time, and
we met
threatened to call
someone
them.
named Mrs. Levon, and then she acted like she owned the place. At some point, I think we found out she didn't, and then we left.
No.
It's strange now that I think about it. She could have easily just called the cops, but she never did.
Yeah. Well, maybe she didn't have the power.
Yeah, now that I think about it, maybe she didn't want to. Maybe she had other reasons.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's easier to babysit somebody when they're not there.
Or it's easier to not have your home searched.
True. But I mean, if I was a babysitter and somebody else took the babies away, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, but now that I think about it, now that I really think about it, I think she knew not to call the cops.
Oh,
Life
okay.
advice with Nor.
Anyways, this is stuff I'm gonna have to tell Simon at some point. But I don't.
I wouldn't let anybody take Mariah away. I just want you to know. I like that little person. They're okay. For nothing more than the torment that Mariah does to her mom. That is a joy that I just embrace in my heart.
I'm glad it brings you joy.
No metagaming.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Leah. All right. In the Buick, the majority of you, I'm just picking on you tonight. In the Buick, are you guys chatting? You just in silence.
No, I would be trying to subtly get information out of Annabelle. And
How do you subtly do that?
Well, it's like, oh yeah, so do you have to put up with her often, that bitch?
I mean, yeah, I suppose she comes over and they all kind of make their rounds, I guess, like once a week or something, maybe once every 2 weeks. They go on trips. That's the best time because then they're gone for a month or two.
So it's like when your parents are gone, these other people kind of come over and watch you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do they come over when your parents are still there and stuff? That's weird.
Well, I mean, they're all friends, all old people. They just do friend stuff. It's really boring. Basically, they drink and play cards and they talk about, whatever. They have a book club.
It's probably boring books. Not like what we're going to go check out at Barker's here.
No, I mean, they all go to Barker's.
Oh, they do? So it's the same. Is it the same stuff you were doing out in the woods, or is it different stuff?
No, the stuff that I do, it's different. It's a new thing, okay?
Well, yours is more innocent. It's like green or something, right?
She kind of... Yeah, I mean, yeah, but that doesn't mean it's innocent.
Well, I mean, but they're probably into the black, dark stuff.
I don't know. She kind of looks down.
Just guessing.
I mean, maybe. I don't think they're doing anything wrong. You see her kind of looking out the window, she's 15. She doesn't know shit.
No.
You can tell she's obviously confused.
No.
Anyway, yeah, they come over a few times, a month, and sometimes we just stay over at other people's houses, when they're having their parties.
Okay, yeah, that's if ever anything happens weird, feel free to call me or anything if you need help with anything.
She frowns at you, but doesn't say anything. You hear
So
Mariah.
why was it
Go
your
on.
friend decided to leave home?
Who are you asking?
Annabelle.
Annabelle turns. We'll say that she's in the back with Mariah. Are you in the passenger seat?
I'm in the back with. No, wait, no.
You're in the back.
Oh, yeah, I'd be in the passenger seat, I guess. Okay. Yeah.
As you're kind of turned around, looking at her. I don't know. I mean, Gabby's run away a bunch of times. You see Mariah nod. Yeah, it's just kind of what she does. She usually comes back within a few days, but she's been gone a while now. And last time I saw her, she was really scared. She thinks
Did she
that
tell you what she was scared about? Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
she thinks she did. She thinks she actually performed a spell. And when she says that, you can see that she's very eager. And Mariah actually kind of cranes her neck, super interested. Her eyes go wide. Really? She goes, yeah. I think she actually pulled one off. Anyway, so she saw stuff, and I don't know. She kept on saying that people were after her. But she said
Did
that
she tell
stuff
you what?
before. She's just trying to get
Did she tell you
attention
what
again.
kind of spell?
What?
Did she tell you what kind of spell?
She pierces her lips. Or purses her lips. Yeah. Mariah actually turns, kind of cocks her head to the side, innocently looking. And she goes, Mom, we're not supposed to talk about it outside the coven.
Well, it's okay. It officially counts me as part of your coven. There you go.
You have to go through the rites. Doesn't matter how old you are. Okay? I mean, we could do it. Is she cool enough?
Okay.
Mariah looks.
Okay. We can do it. I mean, obviously we can't do it in the car, but...
Yep,
And I'll look over at Simon and I say, I mean, really, well, never mind. You don't believe in the stuff anyway. But after the stuff that I've seen in the last few days, I'm down to learn some stuff.
You look over, Simon, Leah's gesticulating with a knife. What are you doing with that knife?
Nothing. It's fine.
Just have a fucking blade out. All right. So, go on.
You're trying to make yourself look cool.
Yeah.
So, unless you have anything else, the montage will end. You guys will arrive at this place. Did anyone advance? Okay, good.
What do you mean by advance?
It means once you get up to
the last game.
Yeah, once you get up to 3 XP or more, you get 1 advancement, so you can get a trait, add something to your sheet. But you can only do that during a montage.
Right. So I was wondering, not jump, because we had a minor goal that those advancements start this game at this point or some other time.
So your goals just give you XP.
Okay.
And then once you get up to 3 or more, you cash in those 3 and you have 1 advancement that you can spend.
Okay.
You spend them during montages.
I get you. All right.
Which is why dropping the load with your pips is nice, because you can do it at any time.
Sure. Okay.
All right. So you guys are moving along the Jefferson corridor, taking the most direct route. Simon, perhaps there's, I'm assuming you're out ahead. Perhaps there's a point or two where Annabelle says, "Oh, you turn here, and get off the main road," and she takes you, assuming you take her advice.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
She takes you through a couple neighborhoods and stuff. Cars parked on both sides and very residential high rises and bars on the windows. It's, very Detroit at this era. Rain is just a slight drizzle. It's on and off. There's more wind than anything. Do you question why, or do you just do it?
I'd quit, or I'd be like, "This is an interesting route. Why are we going this way?"
Annabelle squinches up her face a little bit, and there's a kind of a long pause, almost ominous. Maybe it even makes you wonder: is it actually something, or is she just, having a dramatic effect, or what is it? And finally, she says, "Usually, there's construction on this road." As if you were looking at the map, what she does, I'm not looking at the map. The map's over here. What she does is she takes you north a little bit into that red area, and as in out of the yellow, out of the Jefferson corridor, just for a couple blocks, and then the next turn she makes it so that you avoid Mount Elliott Cemetery.
Okay.
The neighborhoods are run down. They actually look rather dangerous. There's lots of potholes, and you find yourself having to go like 10, 15 miles an hour in some places. And perhaps even wonder if it was the best route. At any rate, out ahead, you see along this perpendicular road from the Jefferson Corridor Road, Barker's Books and Oddities. It looks like an industrial, like, run-down, grimy version of Coriander's Books from The Neverending Story. So the font is all witchy looking and like it's made with, like it's been carved into, wood. Really large. It says Barker's Books and Oddities. There's some filigree around it and such. It's all dilapidated and old. Large pane glass window with trinkets and weird baubles and lights and all manners of things within this place. And the windows are barred all the way across. And of course, there's street parking and whatnot because nobody's around here. I believe it's like 5 o'clock. Is that right? No, I think it's after. I think it's like 6.
Yeah, it's around 6.
Let's just say it's 6. Oh, I'm dropping everything. Yeah, you guys pull up.
So I'll park and get out.
There will be a deal that says open late. It's like blinking,
I tell Nord, hey, why don't you put all these clothes with price tags? Like, make sure the price tags aren't showing.
Okay. Well, I'll just stuff them under here. I'll just take this blanket. I take a blanket and I'll throw it all over.
That's good enough.
That's fine. I mean, my windows are pretty tinted dark anyway, so I don't think anybody. You've seen how many police officers have looked at this van.
All I'm saying is, I'd totally search it. if it was one of those days where like I wasn't hungover or asleep or whatever.
Okay. Well,
as you guys can see out the windshield, the rest of your group getting out of the Buick.
Now let's get out. Let's roll up the windows and then go join.
Yeah. Yeah, I lock all the doors and take the keys from Toni. Thank you.
You see Barker's Books and Oddities as I described it. Aside from what's just beyond the glass and the door, the rest of the bookstore is obscured, like what's actually in there. There's, curtains and beads and all sorts of things obscuring it, quite intentionally. Rugs on the ground,
Leah, when we go in here, it may be smart if you tell them that Loretta sent us.
That who sent us?
Loretta.
Oh. You think?
If Annabelle said that they came here.
Yeah, but if she mentions us to whoever who's in here mentions us to her, there might be a problem later.
Well, you could split up into two groups. The group that are friends with Loretta, and maybe the groups that have no idea. So, like, we could act like we're strangers. Maybe one approach will work. And if that doesn't work, we could go differently. Maybe we should stagger
actually,
our
at this point,
entrance.
at this point, Leah will turn to Annabelle and say, "What do you think? Should we tell them that we were with your and she'll hold up her fingers and say friend in air quotes."
As you ask the 15-year-old witch who's with you, I mean, if you want to lie about it, I guess. What do I know?
You think it'd be worth lying about?
What? Do you bid anything? She seems she has no idea.
I'm gonna bid adaptable. Yeah.
All right, as you bid adaptable, you're asking her specifically because, like, what's the kind of response you're hoping she can give you?
I'm hoping that she can understand if it would become a problem for us to mention her name later.
You mean Loretta or Annabelle?
Yeah.
That's
Loretta.
not a yes or no question. Okay.
Oh no, sorry. Like I want to ask her. I'm trying to ask her if she thinks that telling them that we know Loretta and that she sent us might be a problem later.
Oh, I see. Right. So you bid adaptable. I'll have you throw down for it. So your action die D10, and we'll call this I think this would be a wits.
Okay.
Unless you have a
as long as
reason it wouldn't
nothing's
be.
a Bronx, that's my only really crappy one.
You threshold.
I shouldn't have told you that. Okay. So, well, I got a 1. So,
yeah, so you're at limbo. As you say this,
and you know what? I think I'll use an expression die to go ahead and try and see if I can bump that up. Or expression, yeah. Nope, never mind. We're just gonna go with the 1.
As maybe you put the hands on the hips, letting her know you mean business. And maybe even your face softens a little bit as you get through to her. You get through her just angst for a moment. I mean, so the guy who owns this place, we call him Grimes. Mariah goes, his name's Grimwald. Yeah, Grimy is what his name is. Anyway, he really wants to be a part of their group. So I don't know if it's a good idea to mention Miss Levon, but I mean, it'd probably impress him.
Okay, fair enough. Guess we'll have to see what mood strikes us when we get in the door.
You guys are standing outside. There's no one on the street.
In all fairness, we're going to have trouble with Loretta just for the fact that Annabelle came with us. So
True.
we're going to have trouble with her no matter what.
I got a couple of random questions that I want to ask this guy, and maybe it'd be better if I asked him, not seem like I'm in the group with you guys. So maybe I should just kind of go in first and search around, and then, why don't we act like we're in different groups anyway? So just in case, if anything weird goes down, or if you guys get any mention of something, or if you want me to talk to him first and like gauge his, tolerance for random strangers. I kind of have a feeling that, I know me, and I'm just weird enough of a guy that, I might set him off, and he might want to not talk as much after talking to me. So maybe you guys talk to him first, and I'll just kind of search around for some books I'm looking for.
Well, for strategic, I think we should go in first, and maybe you wait outside for 5 minutes, because it's not going to look weird for one person to be waiting outside, as opposed to 3 adults and 2 teenagers waiting outside.
I feel like that's fair. You guys go in. I'll do something in my van really quick, and then I'll be in a second.
All right, then we'll not see you in there.
Or Leah will look, sort of, side eye him and say something in the as she walks away.
All right, so I will open the door so everybody can go in and hold it.
Doesn't meet guidelines. Yep. Oh, I think I can't curse in this thing. Hold on a second.
Why are you trying to curse? WTF?
Yeah, it won't let me. I'm doing a poll on here, and it won't let me say the word bitch.
Yeah, they might be using a back-end survey thing.
Yeah.
Has a very limited dialect language.
So, going in first, this is Simon, right?
No, I'm holding the door open.
You're holding the door. It's Nord going by himself, or someone going with him?
He's going.
No,
by
Nord's
himself.
going by him. Nord's going after us.
Okay, so Nord and then everyone else. All right.
Everyone else and then Nord.
Everyone else, then Nord.
Yeah, Nord's waiting 5 minutes and then going in.
Indeed, as you all, sorry, I was doing a poll. As you all start moving in, Nord, you hang outside, sort of bumming around. The first thing you notice is the smell of this place. It smells really good. Smells like sandalwood and just incense. Maybe a little too thick. Herbs and herbs and all sorts of medicinal and botanical type things. As you open the door, Simon, you hear that gling, 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 gling of reminiscent of an old shop. It hasn't been cleaned in a while. There's green plants in this little entrance foyer, but you note that they're all like fake, so they don't need enough sun, or they don't need any sunlight. As you go through the curtain, whoever's first, we'll say it's Leah. There's that feeling of going to get your palm read, right? Like you're going into like Madame Boudoir's inner sanctum or something. Immediately, there are rows on either side of you that stretch the entire length of this place. Books all over. There's tables, like small coffee tables, and a random assortment of these things, probably picked up from like garage sales or something, or an estate sale perhaps. They're all unique and carved and weird designs and such. On the tables, knickknacks of all sorts. Think of any sort of new age, witchy, etc. seems to be in this place. There's shit hanging from the ceilings even. Like old bicycles and stuff and masks all around, and it's just a hodgepodge. General colors would be browns and yellows and dark greens all over. In the back, so the back right, you see a large glass jewelry case with all sorts of crystals and gems and, the kind of stuff that looks like it's probably glass. Uh, and there'll be some music playing on a record. You see an old-timey phonograph, I think was what it's called, like with a big horn thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Imagine witchy Sherlock Holmes. That's what you've walked into. Beyond that, so beyond the counter, which is to your right, there's, we'll say, 3 short steps, and what looks like probably a back room and a storeroom, as this place is quite large.
As I go in,
Seems like there's no one else in here. Go on.
do I notice any of the masks? Do any of them look like the stuff that we saw in the marina?
Tell me high or low.
Low.
We'll have Toni roll it.
It is low.
Yeah, as you look up, you see actually 2 of those masks. They look, they'll be in the back. They just as dust-ridden as the rest of them, but you do find 2.
I'll go over and look at those masks a little bit more.
As you do that, you'll see Mariah follows your gaze as she goes and kind of whispers to you, although it's loud enough to where the rest of you can hear. She goes,
Yeah.
Those masks. Is that the same one? As you walk up and note, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell if it's the same. They resemble them.
Right. Yeah.
You could bid something perhaps to know or do something else. It's up to you.
I'm going to I'll bid detective to see if I want to know if basically I'm trying to figure out, because I figure they're close to the same. Like all handmade masks will be a little bit different, but maybe see if there's even more information about them, like if there's a tag that describes what they are or something like that nearby to like garner more information about the masks before having to ask.
Yep. As you go ahead and bid, you really don't need to throw down, but I do want to buy myself some time.
Right.
But you don't need to throw down.
Okay.
Let me see.
I'll go ahead and throw down just to
You don't
see if
need
I.
to.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Or,
So
go
I can
ahead.
see if I can. I want to see if I can kill it and learn a lot of information.
Okay.
That's only one success, so
That's still pretty good.
yeah.
It is a success, damn it.
Yeah.
As you're looking at it, we'll say that there is a tag, and it says the price. Of course, it says $50, or what am I saying? $49.99. Pretty simple little price tag. It says Novica. That's Novica. Decorative wood mask. And there doesn't seem to be anything other than that. We'll say it says tribal. It's the kind of thing that is this real information or not, or is it just a sell? You
Right.
kind of can't tell. It's got that thrift store feel, like that's definitely handmade. They bought it from
Right.
wherever.
Yeah. It's handmade. You pull the tag off and it says "Made in China" or Taiwan or.
This particular mask you're looking at, in fact, both of them will be similar. It's wooden, pretty expertly carved. Well, we won't call it expert, actually. It's definitely carved, and you really don't know if it's expert or not. The face has large features that are formed to look where it's someone who's kind of scowling, almost like their brows are furrowed. It's an abstract look. large lips, this conical nose that it doesn't really look human. It's just sort of comes down, and protrudes from the mask. And yeah, it'll be painted to look like maybe like mother of pearl or something.
Okay.
Nord, outside, the rain is very, very light. A little bit of wind picks up, making it colder than it should be, especially with evening coming on. A couple cars go by, not too much on this side street. Perhaps this, 10 years ago or 5 years ago, this was a much busier street. You notice most of the shops are boarded up or closed around, closed until further notice type stuff. Maybe you even see across the way down an alley, like a few people squatting in houses, or not houses, in shops. Yeah, so a few cars go by. Out here, you hear the echo of police sirens getting closer.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna wait about 5 minutes. I might just to mess with everybody, because that 5 minute time span. I might in that time span, Nord goes and changes clothes really quick, kind of cleans up, and then enters 5 minutes late. As soon as everybody stepped in, he went and changed and cleaned up, and then just real fast.
Are you
quick change?
What are you wearing?
I feel like Nord is a little older. He was born in the 30s, so he's probably, my age, 40, 45, 50 years old. And, he's got like corduroy, like a corduroy suit with like big brown elbow pads and just like a pretty brown over a brown. It's like a brown, wearing a brown shirt with a big collar on it, and these brown pants. And he makes it a point to like rip all the tags off really fast, and then
as your van is shaking back and forth with you changing clothes and kind of like checking out your deets, 2 cop cars buzz your van as they head towards the Jefferson corridor, and the Doppler effect happens. So the of their sirens as they go past.
I bet something's going on.
Few moments are as you get your leisure suit on and start to head in. Meanwhile, in the store, what are the rest of you doing?
I'm going to go in, and I'm actually going to look and see if there's anything that is somewhat familiar, especially given given Toni's background in seminary and Latin, and probably a passing familiarity with Greek and other ancient languages.
So there's lots of places to go in here. It kind of depends on where you go and what you bid to do it.
I am going
You
to
get the counter, the back room, the book shelves, the tables.
Do I see a card catalog anywhere?
You mean like the Dewey Decimal System?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Don't you know the Dewey Decimal System? Indeed.
I mean, I know it's a bookstore, but
yeah, why not? Of course. Yeah. There'll be one that this guy had been working on. So on the counter, on the jewelry counter, you'll see several of those little tiny drawers, and he's working on a little Dewey Decimal System that he's written out. There'll be a couple cards laying around and some markers.
I take note of it, and I just say, hey, Simon. It don't look like. I don't think this guy had any intention of selling these books anytime soon. Looks like he's turning it into a library.
It could just be a way for him to keep track of where he got the stuff, how much it's actually worth, and how much he's trying to sell it for.
Annabelle actually corroborates that as she turns and goes. She'll be down an aisle, but you can still see her. She's holding a book. Just an old looking, almost biblical looking book. Oh yeah. He Grimes allows us to rent them out, to borrow books.
I'm gonna bid too much time in the seminary stacks to see if I find any books that are either in Latin or reference some sort of obscure or odd subject matter.
Absolutely.
It's not necessarily church related.
Go ahead and you don't find much that's church related in the way that. Yeah. Go ahead and throw it down. There's plenty of religious texts in here. There'll be a little section for like popular religions. There's a large section for Wicca, Wicca, and other pagan religions and such. And here and there's some misplaced books you note. A lot of the titles, it looks like they've been on the shelf a while, but as you move down the aisle, Toni, you notice that all of the books have been dusted.
Interesting. So they're not collecting dust.
What'd you get? So action die is D10, and then this is up to you. I'd say it's either mind or wits. So wits would be more of a perception. Mind would be you.
Oh.
It's like when you go into Walmart and actually know where to go. Unlike me.
One success.
Got any abilities or want to ninja gear it? I'm just trying to plead you dry. Shit. One success is fine. As we're gonna call that limbo. As you're looking around for just something that looks interesting, you come across a rather witchy looking book. It's not very large. We'll call that U.S. trade, so like a 6x9, almost like a little manual. It's actually been handwritten. And on the front, apart from all the, fleur-de-lises and viney-looking calligraphy all over it, and knotwork such, it says on the front, communication divination with a third eye.
I pick it up and open it.
You do. It is a book. The penmanship is, what am I trying to say?
Immaculate?
No, it's not immaculate. It's stylized. A little bit difficult to read. Maybe you even get the sense that they're trying to make it look witchier than it is. Like an artist wrote it. Think of a poetry book where the punctuation is off and the writing's too large, and that kind of thing. Right. As you're going through, you see it has. I think this number does kind of make sense or matter. Has 8 stanzas, or 8 poems, kind of, and they all rhyme. They're not nonsensical, but they're rather trite.
I will. I'll keep it with me for now.
Yep.
Like I'm probably gonna buy it, but just haven't walked up to the cashier yet.
Sure.
And I will continue to look through it, just to look busy.
Leah will go up to. You said the guy was there, like with the card stuff.
No, he's not. You haven't seen him yet.
Oh, okay. Is there like a bell on the counter anywhere or anything?
Yeah.
Okay, so Leah will go up and ring the bell a couple times.
As you do that, sorry, I'm like logging back into this thing. As you do that, you guys hear the ring, the ling, ding, ding. The ring settles in the room, and then Mariah comes up and goes, "Haha, ding, ding, ding," because she's a child. You hear from the back. Yeah, all right. Oh my God, stop ringing that ding, 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 ding. Stop ringing the bell from the back.
Leah will put, like sort of lightly but firmly grab Mariah's hand. It's like, I think you should stop that now.
He's funny. There's some shuffling and such from the back. Maybe like a knee hitting a desk. Oh, God! Just a second! Mariah's sitting there. Ding! Oh my God! You guys do anything during this, or are you just waiting?
I'll just wait. Yeah.
All right. A few moments later. I first have to do this. Toni, you read the first, or you thumb through and read the first poem. Beneath the moon's enchanting light, a witch's spell takes flight. Stars twinkle in the velvet sky. Magic dances, soaring high. It continues. Do you keep on reading?
Toni thinks it's pretty cool.
Do you read it out loud?
No.
Oh no.
Okay.
Why would I?
I don't
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not gonna like annoy people or anything like that.
know.
Not yet.
Stop. Beast.
Yeah, I continue to flip through the book. I'm probably gonna buy it if the price isn't exorbitant.
Oh, okay. Give me just a second. I turned off the trackpad and now I have to use a mouse. A man emerges from the back. Leah, you and the NPCs see him first. He's rather tall, maybe 6'2" or 3, but he's bent over. Kind of has not a hump, but he's one of those guys that has had really bad posture, and as he's aged, he's just bent over a little bit. Imagine Larry King, right? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like
I think
ancient
so. Yeah.
Larry King. The guy with the suspenders, like, who always leans over. Anyway, a Skeletor looking really tall guy. Still has all his hair and such. It's gray. He looks like he's about 60s going on 1,000 years old. And in fact, he's wearing suspenders and this is it a white or gray shirt with little dark flowers all over it? You kind of can't tell. Maybe he's had it on a while. And these corduroy pants, that come up as suspenders pull up your pants. He smells like mothballs, and you notice that his hands, really long, knuckly fingers, You know, did you see Beauty and the Beast, the animated one? You know what I'm talking about? The guy who
Yeah.
runs the asylum. Nothing? Jesus Christ. Okay. Anyway. Yes, Nord's got it. Look it up. You can find it. These are such good references. Vincent Price. He looks like fucking Vincent Price. Okay. So, he... no idea what I'm talking about. He
How
long
could
legs
you
it.
not know Vincent Price? I mean, seriously, that guy's
You know,
a legend.
in Thriller,
yeah, the
you're
man
right,
from
Michael
Thriller.
Jackson's Thriller. In the beginning, no, it's actually the end. At the end,
That's
like
in two
the
parts.
funk of
No, it's in the beginning.
40,000 years.
Yeah,
Is it the
it's
beginning?
two.
Starts it off.
It's two
You
parts.
nothing. You didn't listen.
He does it in two parts. He does it at the beginning, and it's about midway
Yeah, he
through.
does it in the beginning and
yeah.
the end,
All right, we're gonna
and
learn
some
you
in the
something.
middle.
We're gonna learn you something. Doesn't matter. It's all cool. Do you know who the Crypt Keeper is? No, you don't.
Yeah.
He looks like a really old. He looks like a really old, like skin taut, ancient dude who's owned this shop for a really long time. A little bit creepy. Just an amazing shut-in, right? As he long legs it over to where you are. He doesn't look at any of you. He just looks like he's in his own thoughts. He's muttering to himself about the bell. Son of a bitch, bell. Get rid of that thing. As he comes around.
Leah will sort of slightly, bow over, and say, "Sorry about my daughter. She got excited about the bell."
Yeah, kids. As he looks up at Mariah. Mariah giggles. He notices Annabelle, and you see his eyes for the first time like light up. Not because it's a girl, just because of like maybe what she represents or who she is. Maybe he's been wanting to talk to her. It's very ambiguous. He still hasn't looked at you in the face. Yes, what is it? What do you need?
Actually, I was wondering, and she'll actually reach in my pocket and pull out the note with that writing on it and unfold it for him. Do you happen to know where I might find a reference book that can tell me about this?
What is it?
It's the Red Writ. The note that was,
You
there.
just pull it out and show it to him.
Yep.
I shoot him in the face. Boof. And go for the gold. Hey, you know what this is? Meanwhile, what are the rest of you doing? We'll tackle that domino effect here in just a second. Oh, Nord will walk in.
I would imagine at some point in time, Nord will walk in and look over at what Leah and Mariah and Annabelle are doing to this guy, and just beeline it to ancient Sumerian section.
So there's nothing that blatantly says that, but you can bid to try to find it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
you
bid.
Could break out that Dewey Decimal System.
Yeah, I'm gonna bid. Well, I mean, he is a journalist, so he's been in a library many times and a bookstore, and knows about the Dewey Decimal System.
So what do you
all
bid?
the other systems. I guess I'll just bid journalism, and he knows his way around researching and finding a story to where he could probably just, if this store has a shop or has a an organization to it that makes some amount of sense, he's going to be able to just hopefully hone in on it.
Yeah, you note going in, he has a Dewey Decimal System, as we've established. The card drawers are sitting on the jewelry cabinet, which is where they all are, or where Leah and the NPCs are. So you can go over there and literally try to look for something, or you can use your Nord sense to seek out the section. It's up to you.
Well, if
One is going to
they're
make you interact with them, one is not.
If they are making a pretty big, commotion, like I think they're making them feel. Do I gauge what's happening? Like how
Not yet. It hasn't happened
at all. Oh, it hasn't happened.
Nope. You walk in and you see the scene as it is, but you don't know what's going on yet.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave them to it and just, look around.
Move to the section. Yep. As like you said,
I might not find the specific section that I'm looking at, but I'll just kind of browse and get the gist of what his store is about, and then do more research after they've concluded their moment.
As you walk in
there.
and kind of get a gauge, maybe walk around a little bit. So Toni and Simon, you would see Nord perusing. It looks like he knows what he's doing. Nord, as you find a couple interesting sections, you note immediately the sections that would normally sell books, and could probably guess that it's full of random, non-interesting or uninteresting books. And you see a couple cubby holes deeper into the store, out of the line of sight of the door, and directly inside of the back room. There's a couple chairs and leather chairs, like nice sitting chairs, and actually candles that are unlit at little coffee tables next to it. It's a much nicer place. Perhaps it even looks like a group could meet here, or maybe even this guy Grimwald uses it himself. As you get back into these two little cubby holes, definitely the scent. Go on.
He's also looking for that that leather bound book that he found at Tony's, to see if there's anything like that.
Well, right now you just found the section, and
yeah.
I don't know if I've described it properly, but there's a fuck load of books.
Okay. Yeah. No, I get that.
And it's all shoved in here.
Yeah. And I would imagine
that
very few of them have labels on it. A lot of the older books, they didn't have the nice little bright, Arial font where you could read it. This is the bookstore that they're older books. Is that correct?
Right. Right. And it uses the system. But you do find these couple cubby holes.
Well, I'll just browse through those in the interim.
Yeah. Are you looking for anything other than? Are you just looking for the one that you saw in Tony's?
No, I'm looking for anything having to do with hieroglyphics or Sumerian, or maybe some Native American stuff, and also maybe a little bit of. What was the other thing? There was another thing. Maybe some stuff on Israel, because I don't know.
Okay, so this is a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
It's gonna take time, and
Sure.
You can only do one thing at a time. So as you're going around, sort of looking for anything like that, maybe pulling out some books, looking through them. A lot of this stuff in this cubbyhole looks interesting. Several are not in English. You don't find any in hieroglyphics or anything. Maybe some Latin, some
Nord
various
speaks Latin, Swedish, Hindi, Mandarin.
Goddamn.
And Sumerian.
Yeah, you find a couple in that. Seems mostly philosophies and this. So we're gonna pause it there. You two, Toni and Simon, are you doing anything particular? As in all of that moment, this is when Leah is showing the Red Writ to Grimwald. What are you guys doing? Nord has just stormed in and done it.
I look at Simon and I say, and I give Simon a look of an obvious look of concern.
Simon shrugs back and proceeds to just kind of continue looking around to anything. Like, I'm going to listen to what's going on with Leah and them, but I'm also I'll bid observant. So that way I'm paying attention to them, but I'm also looking around to see if there's anything else that we may stumble across that is related to what we're looking for.
Yeah, and you're able to do that since you've been observant. You notice Nord disappear into the back. You notice he quickly dismisses many sections. Specifically, he dismisses the section that Annabelle's in. And you also notice how much this place has in it. It'll take you a while, unless you just happen to get lucky. It'll take you a while to just happen upon something that's super interesting. But you do notice that Nord seems to know where he's going. Meanwhile, you notice Leah pulling out that familiar note and shoving it in Grimwald's face. Grimwald. He's looking over at Annabelle. What did you need? As you shove this red writ in his face. He looks at it, his eyes fall upon the note, get wide for a moment, and he just, get that out of my face. Who are you?
I am Leah.
I am Grimwald. What do you want?
I just told you. I was wondering if you might have any reference books that might be able to help me with this.
I swear, no one knows how to do their own research.
Well, you do have quite a lot of books.
You see, his rough exterior kind of breaks a little bit. He smiles as you say that. Yes, my collection is quite extensive. What is this? As he takes the note from you and looks. Did you write this?
No, I was given it by a friend.
He looks. It's dirty and sets it down. Let me see. And he starts looking through this large, almost like it's not a diary. It's like what is the kind of book at the beginning of at the front of a hotel, like a check-in book? You know, one of those large. That's
like
not
a
reference
guest book.
Like a guest
registration.
book. A registration book, right? And it's full of
QR code.
fuck you. Serious cursive. He seems there is a method to whatever madness he uses for organization. As he's flipping through and all of his handwriting. As he licks his thumb. Well, so your friend found it. Where? In any kind of direction would help.
I'm assuming somewhere in the Middle East, as we are both from Israel.
Oh, really? He looks at it. I suppose that doesn't look Israeli at all, though. Oh, hieroglyphics of some sort. Why do you write it on this?
I don't know. He actually passed away not long after giving it to me.
It's unfortunate. As he's sitting there flipping through and kind of taking his time, he'll pull out some reading glasses and be looking. After 10 seconds, he looks up over, the bridge of his nose. This might take a little while.
Oh, okay. I will go see what Annabelle is up to then.
So you know her, do you?
Oh, yes. She and my daughter are actually good friends.
How quaint. He looks down at Mariah, who goes, Are you a part of the
out of game. What was that lady's name again?
Loretta Lavon.
Okay. And actually, Miss Loretta Lavon told us that this might be the best place to find information on that.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, she said this is a wonderful collection of information.
I see. He continues looking down, doing his thing.
Fair
Remember, I'm not going to tell you guys to bid anymore. I'm not
Yeah,
telling you
no,
all to
no.
bid. You got to do it yourself.
I don't know. I'll bid soldier. I don't know,
You
anything
punch
good
him in
to
the
bid.
face. Let me know. Give me what you know.
I've seen.
what- how does-
How about the context is that I've seen people try and hide their emotions before.
Sure. Yeah, as you bid soldier, you can tell he's hiding his emotions poorly. He's definitely interested. There's a wellspring of emotions just beneath the surface, but it's one of those things where you're not really sure what he's feeling. Maybe you can tell that he's excited, but you're really not sure why or what. You need more to go on. With soldier, he's probably not the best under fire. Like he would run away, probably. And in fact, maybe that means there's a feeling of you wouldn't want that guy next to you because he's unpredictable. As a soldier, you probably wouldn't trust him.
Gotcha.
But that's about what
Okay,
you get.
well, we'll just go over with Annabelle and look around some more, and just let us know what direction we have to go in when you find out.
Absolutely. As he continues looking through, you see he's rather interested in what you've brought him. All right, what are the rest of you doing? Nord, you're looking through. Booch. Toni, are you still reading?
I'm gonna go try and buy it.
You get up to the counter, you notice seeing this ancient dude with the reading glasses trying to cross-reference this note that Leah's given him.
Hey,
Yes.
what's the price on this book?
Let me see it. He looks at it, just
I
up
had
at it,
to.
like, over the bridge of his nose again. $10.
Okay, I hand him a 10.
Ooh, exact. I like that. As he ching ching ching. Do you want a receipt?
Yeah, yes I
He
do.
writes you a receipt and hands it to you. Thank you for your
Bookmark.
business. Come back to Barker's Books and Oddities.
Will do. Yeah, so I
The Red Writ. Commerce.
buy the book, and I say, hey, is it okay if I continue to look around some?
Of course, especially if you're
Sure.
buying things.
Yeah. So I just so you know, I bought this. I'll look around for maybe I'll see something else I like.
That'll give you 10 minutes. As he looks up and smiles. I'm kidding.
Okay, yeah, very funny. So this guy,
We kill him and put him in the bag.
yeah, yep.
I'm sorry, we're not playing
Man.
D&D.
No. Now I go back over and I go to Simon and say, hey, he let me buy this.
Well, it is a bookstore.
And Mariah goes, yeah. She's just sort of moving back and forth between you guys and around and picking up stuff and putting it down and stuff. Yeah, of course. Hey, Mom, can I buy something? She runs off to Leah. What y'all doing? The action is on you.
Once
So
Nord
is it-
sees that, or once Toni walks away, it'd be really great. I'd love to go and actually have a little bit more of an idea of what's going on in the store. So I will go and check out his Dewey Decimal System and kind of step in after Toni takes off and maybe engage in a short conversation with the proprietor.
Yeah, as at your time in this cubbyhole, you note what I said. You just sort of pick that up. The chair and the candles and all that kind of thing. There's a smell of cigars, and there'll even be like a little cigar butt there with an ashtray. Um, 2 or 3 chairs for people to actually sit in. Maybe even like a drink bottle of wine will be off to the side. A plate that has like a crust, of an unfinished sandwich. As maybe some of the books you picked up in different languages, and just thumbing through them, the ones that you can read, they're very cryptic. It's kind of hard to know what they're talking about. They seem very philosophical in origin. Really concerned with the weather, very concerned with how a person should live in the world, typical philosophical stuff. Really dense. And the stuff that's written in Latin, you can tell that it wasn't written, it's not like Cicero. It was written at a time when the scholarly language was Latin. So like 1600s or so.
So they're newer books. They're not, it sounds like they're actually several hundred years old, some of these books.
The
these
publications.
copies?
Yeah, they're copies.
When
the
are the publications?
Yeah, that would be within the last, 100 years.
Okay.
So you'll actually find a couple that are pretty fucking old, like printing press old, like 19th century books.
Yeah.
And they'll be up high, immaculate, like nothing is dusty around here. And as you're thumbing through it, to be careful and such, and yeah.
Nice. What is the title of the one? I'm sure it's a pretty expensive book, the one I've got in my hand. I might look around for like a really expensive one.
So I can give you loads and loads and loads of titles for random books, but what are you specifically looking for?
We'll just say like the Sumerians, the first, told from the perspective of, word of mouth to in the realm.
So you don't find that. You don't find that book. I want the book that tells me what's going on. Doesn't happen.
Well, why don't we just say?
Explain to me what all this means.
It does. No, it could be like for instance, a Sumerian culture book.
Okay, I got something. How about this? Particularly given the shop that we're in, right? How about something along the lines of Sumerians, the first magicians, or something like that?
Something that's old that Nord would know that it's not magical, but it would have value. So maybe it was written and it wasn't like a print from a printing press. It was handwritten, a handwritten book. Would he have anything like that?
All right.
Or is that too old?
You're asking a lot of questions. I'm gonna answer one of them. Okay, so here's what it is. You've looked around for and found the general things that I've said. As for something that you've not picked up a book and looked at it and been like, oh yeah, that's the one that I want yet.
Yeah.
As you move to the Dewey Decimal System.
Sure.
And Grimwald is there. Basically, there's too many books, and you're going to spend weeks in here trying to figure it out.
It's too much stuff. So I might suggest I don't know his name. Sir.
Yes.
I'm doing some research on this
research.
This book. Yeah. I'm a writer, and I'm trying to understand some stuff about the occult, and I've been into it for a long time.
You've come to the right place.
Well, that's really wonderful. Through. I'm looking for something that's not really standard. This stuff I've kind of looked through the store, and it's all pretty great. I mean, you definitely have a wonderful selection.
Yes.
But I'm looking for something maybe that touches on, and maybe it's not in English. I mean, I speak a number of languages. I'm looking for
Rarely
something
is.
that is culturally, maybe in the actual historic, something that wasn't printed on a printing press, that was written out, because some of that art really tells a lot in the story.
You want one of the originals, an authentic piece. Well, that would be in the back, of course. They are very expensive. He looks at you with this knowing eye.
Something that
he looks you up and down. Very expensive.
Oh, of course. I mean, only the finest for a guy like me, I would imagine. Well,
I don't rent them. You have to buy them.
Well, of course. No, I fully understand. I just need to, anything that I would buy, I would need to double check the authenticity of.
Oh, of course.
Of course. But, this story that I'm writing, it certainly would, if you would have such a book on hand, I would make sure that you were published, your store was published, and you would be known. Your store would be on the map for.
What are you gonna bid to convince this guy of whatever you're trying to convince him?
I'm gonna bid yellow journalism.
Yeah, go ahead and throw it down. You can tell he's a very curious person.
Sure.
You can tell there's something about him. It's difficult to know because you don't know him. There is. You're hitting on something, but you don't know if it's good or against your cause. So go ahead and throw it down. Threshold for this, essentially to win him over. Threshold is 3.
Okay. What can I? Okay. And I need to bid something else?
No. You need to throw it down.
Okay. And that's the
D10 is your action die. And then we're going to give this, I would say, wits or mind.
Okay.
Depending on the kind of result you want. Mind would be more like you're already rolling, so whatever.
Yeah.
Go on.
I chose mind. You said wits or mind, so
Yep.
I was going for it. That's 2 successes. I would like to spend a learning proficiency.
Yep.
To reroll.
Get your reroll on.
And that is 3 successes.
All right, you were at limbo. So it's a yes, but situation. Or yes and situation.
Yes and or but.
All right.
That is correct.
You gonna do anything else, or are you good?
I am going to suggest that I do have clients and readers that are very interested in these older books, and that it would probably be in his financial best interest.
All right. So what I'm gonna do with that, since you're kind of moving for this, since you're buttering him up, but also are essentially soliciting in a way your services.
Sure.
To make him famous. I'm going to give you a chaos die. So this is a d6. It's an extra die, but it's a chaos die. So if you roll a 1 on it, the whole thing utterly fails.
Sure.
But it's a possibility of another success. Because what you're dealing right now is you're walking a line because you don't know if you know that what you're saying intrigues him, but you don't know if it's for or against your cause.
Sure. Absolutely.
Right? So this is the chaos die. Do it.
Sure. It's a 3.
Nice. So no successes, but no mishap.
Mm-hmm.
As you're still at limbo, you say, famous? We haven't had a lot of people come in here in a long time. It was a mishap of maybe a decade ago or so. And so no one wants to come back, but you have connections, you say?
I know a few people. I mean,
I
publishers.
wouldn't want my name. I wouldn't want my name used.
Well, I'll let you read the copy before I send it off if you want. What it's interesting to me is I am a journalist and I am a historian, and books like these need to be seen, and these people are going to buy these books and they're going to put them in museums, and you're going to make some money off of this.
His eyebrow kind of arcs. Meanwhile, what are the rest of you doing? As you hear Nord, maybe even Simon, you hear Nord's voice, and it's whatever. He's up to something. And then you actually look over at him, and you don't see Nord. You just see this man in a leisure suit at the counter. Only now do you realize, oh, that's Nord. He looks pretty good. A little out of date.
Cleans up nicely. I'm going to pull out the 2 stones in my pocket.
Never pull out. Go on.
The one off of the statue and the one out of Rebecca's, and kind of look around and look in the counters and stuff where there is the jewelry and that sort of stuff, and see if there is anything like either one of them.
When you pull out those stones, you're looking at them. Mariah, of course, bouncing around. She's gone to Leah. I don't know if you heard Leah. She says, "Hey, Mom, can I buy something?"
What are you wanting to buy?
I'll find something.
So you're asking me if you can buy something so you can find something
I want
you can
something.
buy.
I saw something I really want over here. Hold on, I have to find it again. As she comes up to you, kind of rushing past. What are those?
Oh, this is the piece of the rock from that your mom shot off out of the statue.
Oh yeah.
And this is a ball that I found at Rebecca's house. She told me to keep it.
Is it just a rock?
I don't know yet. I'm trying to see if you want to help me, if you can see if there's
I'll help.
anything in here that matches either one of these. Maybe we can learn what they are.
She holds out her hands for you to hand her one.
I'll hand her the rock from the statue.
And she takes it and kind of smiles and runs off. All right, I'll find one. Yeah. As you start going toward the jewelry case, Nord, as you're sitting there talking to Grimwald, he's leaning forward now, momentarily having forgotten about the note with the Red Writ that Leah had given him, as well as the open book that he's referencing.
Did I do I see that?
Yeah, that's why I'm describing it. Are you gonna do something?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep talking to him and kind of give him a brief history of my background as a journalist, and tell him some of the places that I've traveled, like Nepal and
he seems very interested in everything you're saying. He maybe not interest. He seems interested in the way of, can you get him something? That's what his interest is in.
Can I bid sleight of hand?
Yeah.
I want to take that note with the hieroglyphs on it that Lee left.
Sure.
Yeah, left.
So you're gonna bid that bidding sleight of hand. You'll need a throwdown.
Okay.
So the threshold on this, you are distracting him, but the threshold is 2.
Okay. And that is a grace and or
I'd say that's grace.
And your action die. One of these days, that is 3 successes.
Nice. So threshold 2, that's a clean success. As Simon is walking up, momentarily, Grimwald looks up and walks just past the note as you slide it and put it in your pocket. as he quickly turns back, not to look at the note, just looking at you. Just one moment. Just one moment.
Okay.
I'll be right
when
back.
you get back, I've got a couple of photos I wanna show you.
Absolutely.
I got this leather-bound book, and it's so pretty. You'd love it.
Just one moment. As you do.
Okay.
Since you got over the threshold, since you got a clean success, as he walks away and you have the note in your pocket, you look down and see that the page that he's turned to in his notes, in that big book, which would be much more difficult to put under your coat,
sure,
has all this scribble and writing and, arrows and whatnot, a madness of organization, and rather large, a rough rendition of the Red Writ, of course done in red.
Wow.
Like red
I'm
ink.
gonna, as he
had found it and then hadn't looked down to see it yet.
Mm-hmm. As he's walking away, I'm gonna grab my camera and take a quick snap.
You got the flash on?
No.
Okay. You chung. As you do,
well, I mean,
we'll
I'm gonna cough or something like when I.
Oh, are you?
So I would
what
like
do you
to
bid to do this?
I would like to bid. I would like to bid. You love this one. It worked in the past.
Sure. And just for funsies, I'm gonna make you throw down with a chaos die.
All right.
So instead of the threshold just being stupid high, it's same threshold, be 2. But you get that chaos die. Yeah.
And this is mind or wits.
I think either one would work.
Okay. I'll use my mind.
Okay.
And that is 3 successes.
All right. So you get a clean
it's funny,
success.
it's 665. It's very close.
Well, 4, 5, and 6 on a chaos die is good for you.
Yeah.
it's just like any other die.
Yeah.
Save for the one as you chunk take the picture. Toni,
and then
you see all of that, of course, and Simon, you see it too because you're Simon and you're Toni. Simon, you see all of that. You walk up, notice the swipe, notice the picture taken, realize you're the distraction. As you get to the case, yes, sir, you see, actually hear this almost like a train moving by. You hear this jingle of objects in the case clanging together and against the glass as Grimwald looks down. Must be a train.
Are you near a train track?
Okay.
There's one, I suppose, close by, a couple blocks away. That's never happened before. Annabelle says, probably an earthquake.
Okay. I'm going to... What was he approaching me? Did he say anything to me? Or is he just kind of...
He said, yes,
Okay.
sir. What can I do for you? Nord.
I've got this that I found, and I'm not for sure what kind of stone it is.
Can I see that?
Yes.
As he takes it. Well, I haven't seen one of these in a long time.
Can you tell me what it is?
He's focused on it for a moment as his lips are kind of mouthing something as he shakes his head. Oh yes. It's worth quite a bit. Probably $75, $100 or so, depending on the collector. It looks like maybe there's a few scuffs, but that's not really a problem. Basically, a beautiful paperweight. He smiles at you. You notice his teeth are really nice. As he sets it down on the counter, he'll set it down on like a little cloth that he might have there, some napkins or something, so it doesn't roll. And he puts his hands down, looking at you. You know well enough that he's interested in buying it.
I'm going to bid stoic and be like, and not show any. Well, I know that's how much it is, but I need to know more about it.
Oh, I see. I'll let you bid or throw down as a reaction when you say that.
Okay, on top of bidding stoic.
Yeah, you can bid or throw down to get a reaction from it.
Well,
Actually,
I mean,
no, you're right. You're right. Yeah, go ahead and throw down.
Okay. Is it wits
I
or
think
grace?
so.
Okay,
Definitely not grace. I'd say
Oh.
wits or mind.
wits or mind?
This is to pick up on something. And yeah, you're right. Stoic would be the bid you want.
Yeah.
Sorry,
That's
I'm just reading my notes and looking at
yeah.
it.
That's only one success.
That's all you need, because I said it was a bid or throw down. You can tell when you say that. You tell the. You expect pawn shop people and people that that buy oddities to always lowball you. Like that's
Right.
just it,
Yeah.
an expectation. But as you say, oh yeah, I know what this is worth. I know that's how much this is worth. You detect a smile that isn't actually, maybe it's in his eyes, because his face is rather stoic, as you realize that you've just said something that makes him realize you don't know at all how much it's worth. So with that success, this is worth a lot more money.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring.
Yeah, but like a lot more money. But you
Right,
also
yeah.
realize that Grimwald knows you don't know what it is. Like you don't know. As he goes, oh yes. Well, I mean, that's probably a better price than most would give. Yes, I could find out. Maybe even give you a write-up of what it is. Or I could just tell you what I know.
Well, you said you knew what it is, so go ahead and why don't you just tell me?
Have you
No.
heard of Shungite?
Isn't that like meteor rock or something?
Kind of, sort of. You might be thinking of Moldavite. So, Shungite, I dated a hippie once. Shungite is this black stone, and they say that if you hold it, it has healing properties. Of course, it's nonsense. But with this quantity, it would be nice for, some witch's decoration. You see Annabelle. What? Not you.
Oh, so if this is healing powers,
It doesn't
would
really
some-
have healing powers.
but why would somebody be afraid of it?
Superstition? Who's afraid of it?
My aunt who gave it to me.
Nord, you're sitting there. You look over. Your aunt. Oh. I don't know. Maybe she's just batshit crazy.
Well,
He
that
smiles
was,
again with his pearly whites.
That was about as helpful as the price you were going to give for me for this, and I will I'll take it and put it back in my pocket.
Oh, no. I mean, okay, I can give you more money for it. I don't have one. I used to have one. How much do you want?
Well, what's happened to the one you used to have?
He kind of looks down. I had to hawk it.
Oh, was this from that problem that happened about a decade ago to keep your business afloat?
He doesn't have much of a reaction. Listen, my business will remain afloat for a very, very long time. Regardless of how many customers come in. That's not a problem.
Well, I'm not going to part ways with it right now, but
He can't, since you got that success, he can't hold back a little sneer.
I may
Fine.
be interested in purchasing those 2 masks on the wall.
Oh, those old things? Sure.
Yeah. They're listed for 50 apiece. I'll give you 80 for both.
He kind of slow breathes. Fine.
And I will open up my wallet and reach into like the side pocket, like not in the main, it's in the side pocket, and pull out 100 and give him 100 and get my change.
Yep. He does the whole marker thing and gives you the change.
Yeah.
Go on, take
Okay.
them.
Okay.
I have a few better in the back, if you'd prefer those, although they are a little more expensive.
I think these will be fine. Thank you.
Another sneer. All right, Toni and Leah, what are you guys doing?
I'm gonna flip through the book and see if there's any Latin in it. Like,
Yeah,
one
you
more
do
time.
see one of the poems that is in Latin.
I'll mumble it to myself.
You can't resist.
Can't resist.
Let me. Oh, I don't think I can. I don't think I have Discord open on this. I can do this. I'm gonna send it to you. That way you can mumble it aloud as you see fit. Give me 1 second. No,
I'm a
come
big
back.
fan that there's like we got some poetry hanging out in this podcast,
Yeah.
role playing game.
That's right.
We got culture happening. Wow.
I don't know how much culture this is, but
Well,
if you knew where these poems are coming from.
Just, a little poem is better. I mean, I'm a big fan of poetry, so if you can throw some poetic poems in there, you got me. I don't care how bad they are.
So, Toni, you received this, yes? It's via text message. On your phone that has not been created yet. Leah, what are you doing?
I am basically, hanging around Annabelle, thumbing through maybe some of the books that she's near where she's at.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, can I roll to see if something like catches my eye, like actually piques my interest?
Sure.
Let's see here.
So this would be the bid or throw down, so you're just throwing down on it.
Yeah, I'll just throw that. And that would be 2, and I used mind, I guess.
Yeah, you're looking around and you actually note one title. It looks rather new, so like made in 1981 or something. And it says the Nouveau Vitch, as in the new witch, but Nouveau Vitch. It's a joke. Come on, I'm hilarious. Holker, did you translate that into Latin and then play it? Is that what you were doing?
It sounded like it was.
Well, go ahead and play it so we can hear it.
If you want to, I can.
Suspendisse vestibolo melita sempre, ita cumisan lacos e vis modut. Pro intingidunt, magna quis interdo cullam corper. Vitor tortincidunt dolor inconsecte turmi purus leg.
So, for the chat, I'll just post what that is, and I will read it to you all. Since, I know all of us do speak Latin, but
Yep.
it says, as you read it aloud in Latin, beneath the stars in shadows deep, communing with gods long asleep, whispers of the ancient past, mystic bonds that forever last. As you say that, Simon, you're sitting there talking to Grimwald, and you've picked back up the stone. It has that staticky feel in your palm that starts to grow as you feel your hand lock onto it and almost like spasm a little bit. It doesn't hurt, but almost like your hand is turned into a claw. Chink, and you have it. Grimwald's eyes open a little bit. Candles flicker, incense swirls in the realm where time unfurls. Voices from realms beyond the veil, tales of power, like an ancient tale. Nord, you're within sight, since you're at the counter, and maybe you've moved away a little bit. You're still within sight of that cubby hole. Maybe it's slightly obscured as you see light from the candle, a light. With reverence and mystic might, we reach beyond the mortal sight. Dead gods arise, their wisdom near, in the sacred space where worlds adhere. As Leah, you're hearing this Latin, and somehow it's like reverberating off the walls. And since you're standing next to Annabelle, you note she's muttering the Latin as well. Mariah, who's behind you, she's actually like right about to ask you if she can buy something. She's got this rock in her hand, and she has this dusty looking looks like a flute or like a magic wand or something, kitschy. She's stopped and is repeating the words as well. As for a moment, those Latin words hang in the air. And then everyone who was speaking them kind of comes to. Grimwald blinks. What do you guys do?
I'll grab Leah's or Mariah's shoulder and, not hard, but like sort of look her square in the eye and say, "You okay?"
Yeah. She kind of looks around. Were you saying that?
No, that was you. And she'll, I'll glance over at Annabelle.
Annabelle's just looking through the books again.
Well, no, I was glancing over Annabelle to kind of imply that was, her also saying it.
Oh. Yeah, Mariah kind of looks over at Annabelle. That was a really bad poem. Hey, can I get this? As she holds up this like dusty cobweb-ridden twisted stick.
What is it?
I think it's a magic wand. Or something.
And Leah will actually, can I look at it real quick?
Yeah, you take it from her. It's kind of heftier than it looks. It's like a little length of wood. Those Louisville sluggers, but they're like this big. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It looks kind of like that, but it's this twisted piece of maybe cedar or some hard wood. It's been stained. Looks really old, and it's just covered in dust and cobwebs, like maybe like it was found in the recesses of some place. It's it's heavier and much sturdier than you would expect.
Does it feel weird when I grab onto it or not really?
No.
How much is it?
I don't know. I'm just gonna ask.
Okay, well you go ask and then you come back.
She dusts it off and everything. Cobwebs like fly in the air. What are the rest of you doing?
While Simon stepped away with the shop owner. I don't know if I ever caught his name. You probably said it.
Grimwald.
Grimwald. Oh, wow. Well, while Grimwald and stepped off to the side, I'd like to bid addict to see what Grimwald is addicted to.
Oh,
like to see if I can understand what really he's into.
Okay. Yeah.
An addict is not a flaw.
You'll need to throw down. You'll need to throw down for this.
Okay. Yeah, and it's not a.
Is that like saying I'm not an alcoholic? I'm I just enjoy drinking alcohol.
No,
I'm not an alcoholic. I'm a professional.
What's wrong with that?
It's a part of being his. I'm a pro. Exactly. Like I know exactly what's up with you. I know what humans get off on.
All right, what'd you?
And that's a mind. Is that correct?
It would be mind. So depending on what you roll, it kind of gives you a little bit different answer, and it could be more or less difficult. Basically, you can obviously choose your greatest stat, but it's more important to say how are you figuring it out, and that would determine the stat, which could be a lower stat, but if you're doing it the right way, it's a lower threshold too. So it's a little game you can play.
All right, I understand. Well, he would probably
or strategy.
Oh, I see. So if it was like wits, it would be.
Yeah. Which is more of about a perception type thing, like you happen to
perception.
notice.
Okay.
Mind would be more like you know what you're looking for type thing.
Yeah, and I don't think he knows. I mean, I think he knows because he does write for the Fortean Inquirer and Scientific Journal of Oddities. So like he knows what, like he writes what these like super these culty geeks like, like he is the
you do mind or you do wits.
So I mean I think he has enough experience, but I get it. I get what you're saying. I think if you think it's more of a wits thing,
I think it's either way. It is up to you.
I don't know how to make mind work, so I'll try wits.
All right, we'll see if you put 2 and 2 together, or 1, 2, and 3 together of the things you've seen thus far.
Yeah, I think putting it together and feeling like and just seeing him out of the corner of his eye, and I'm looking at all of his like little gewgaws that in his like personal station area, I guess.
Yeah.
Where he rubs his pencil if he bites it, how he lines up his like pens, or how he places his this notebook on, like if he has a certain hierarchy of material that he keeps.
I dig it. Go ahead and throw down. Threshold should be 3, but I'm going to give you a bonus, so it's a threshold of 2. Since the way you're attacking the situation.
Okay, and that is 4 successes.
Yeah, you destroy it, so you get a narrative point since you beat it by 2. As Nord, you've stepped back a little bit, or are you at the jewelry case still?
I'm still at the jewelry case. And
go on.
No, I was gonna let you.
As you look around, and almost like a beautiful mind style, you see things that you notice things that didn't immediately pop out at you. You notice his pencils are all gnawed on. You notice that book that he'd written in the big book you took a photograph of, how it is incredibly orderly but furtive in places. It's like it almost looks artistic, like a scattered mind. And you noticed his pearly white teeth, unnaturally white. Just then, with this narrative point, maybe, which this is your choice, but you get a whiff of a chemical smell that's being masked by all the incense that's in here and the dust, And you realize this guy he's addicted to some kind of drug, probably an upper of some sort, some sort of concoction, and maybe even just for cinematic purposes, there's the slow turn toward the back, and you can just barely hear like a Bunsen burner and maybe some bubbling.
Oh shit!
As he probably brews his own.
Oh wow!
Meth lab.
Yeah, that sounds explosive-y, potentially. While he's still looking away, can Nord flip through his book really quick?
You got a narrative point, so yeah.
What I'll spend my narrative point to say that when Griswold took off to speak to Simon, Nord flipped through his book and is looking for the word Revelo in it.
With a narrative point, what you see a couple pages that have the Red Writ inscribed on them as though attempting to decipher it. So there's like 1 or 2, 3 or 4 symbols that this guy has found, and he's attempting to decipher it. And one of the translations is Revelo. The most notable thing you found is the thing you took a picture of.
Okay. And his translations, are they similar to Nord's? Or
well, so you don't have that much time. As in you'll have to like sort of process it. But that's all happening